In the Kannon Sutra, Zen Buddhists chant, "Our true nature is eternal, joyous, selfless, and pure." In other words, our fundamental nature is indestructible, wondrous, alive, and truly selfless, not self-centered. According to Buddhist belief, we don't need to pursue happiness because it is what we already are. The sutra also points to the eternal quality of our fundamental nature, as if it were always present. I would add that we share this fundamental being with all beings, with everything, everywhere. Although you and I are different and unique, our Buddha nature is in common, and in common with all of creation. Modern neurobiology disagrees with this point of view. Cognitive scientists feel that there is no quality to fundamental human consciousness. They believe that subjective awareness is like a blank canvas having no distinguishing features of its own, and that any emotion, including joy and affection, are emotions that can and will be painted upon the canvas. I went to my first week-long Zen retreat years ago with my partner, with whom I had begun the formal practice of Zen, working with a community and teacher a couple of years earlier. We attended an introductory seminar at the Zen Center of Denver and were impressed with the teacher and community, so we returned as often as we could while living 50 miles from the center. Over the next 18 months, we attended all the events offered by the Zen Center, including evening sittings, morning sittings, and Sunday morning sittings, and included a chanting service and a talk by the teacher. We also attended Buddhist ceremonies, including Vesak, Jukai, Thanksgiving, and New Year's Eve. And we eventually attended an all-day sitting, or Zazenkai, that lasted from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m., a full day of Zazen, Zen meditation. We both began to notice an experience of feeling settled and being present in the world after the extended sittings. I remember driving home after the first all-day sitting feeling heightened awareness and sensitivity to the world of motion and traffic that was moving suddenly so much more quickly than we had been all that day. The car felt large and rumbly, and driving it was enjoyable. But I remember thinking, I really need to pay attention because things are moving fast now. After 18 months of participating in everything that the Zen Center offered, we decided to attend our first session, a 7-day retreat. We had read the experiences of people attending session in Philip Kaplow's book, The 3 Pillars of Zen, and had spoken to several people at the Zen Center that had already been to session. Their comments were along the lines of, "This will be like a week-long marathon, and this will be the hardest thing you have ever done." I agree now with both descriptions, but at the time, I had a hard time imagining running a marathon for a week. Someone else at the Zen Center commented, "No, it's not like running a marathon. It is a sitting marathon, a meditation marathon." Since it included some 11 hours a day of seated meditation, I feel that is an accurate description of sesshin, a going nowhere fast marathon. Leaving that first session and driving home, the world appeared huge, noisy, and miraculously beautiful. It was like I could feel the slow rotation of this giant green planet through the blue sky. But somehow, the drive home seemed to flash by in 7 minutes. The perfectly ordered world of a Saturday afternoon drive home seemed astonishing. I thought, this is the same world and the same planet I left a week ago. Why does it look and feel so huge and so correct now? Of course, the answer to that question is 70 hours of Zazen. A day or two after session, Sandy, my partner, said, I spent a lot of time right after session just walking around the house, looking at everything in the house. I went into the kitchen, and I was in there for a long time, just touching the coffee cups, the utensils, the pots and pans, and the bunch of bananas that were sitting on the counter. She experienced this after the next several session, and it became a question for her. She would ask me, why do I want to walk around the kitchen and stare at the pots and pans and the coffee maker and touch all the coffee cups? And although I understood her question, I didn't have an answer at the time. I didn't think that she was having a psychotic break or that she had become obsessive compulsive, and it seemed perfectly natural behavior to me, having just exited session myself. So the answer I have many years later is either our true nature is eternal, joyous, selfless, and pure, or the coffee cup's true nature is eternal, joyous, selfless, and pure, and also a little playful in enticing us human beings to reach out to them. I prefer this point of view and experience to the purely functional cognitive point of view. Call me crazy, but the mind of affection leaves the door open for forming a fond friendship with a wooden spoon and everything else. A rabbit chomping down on your front lawn suddenly becomes your best friend, at least for a few moments. Tangen Harada Roshi said, I just feel so blessed to be alive. Thanks to the inner harmony, the interdependence of the total universe, I am alive. And he didn't just mean I'm alive as in living. He meant I am alive. Everything in the universe is working together, dedicating itself completely so that I am nurtured and protected. So if it is just empty space, why would the universe dedicate itself to nurturing us and beckoning us to touch the coffee cups?